Hi, I'm Ryan Johnson.
I'm Peyton Myers.
I'm Megan Chandler.
And I'm Taylor Pyle, and we're all students enrolled in your Composition 1302 class this semester.
Today we'll be discussing the nature of marriage and how it has changed over time.
We've each prepared 2 questions over the topic to ask each one of us.
Chopin describes Miss Mallard as being young, implying that they were married at a young age. In the era of this story, marrying at a young age was very common. How has this acceptance of marrying at a young age changed from then to now?
I think that it's a lot more frowned upon because back then people got married at like 17 or 16, and now it's like 25 is like the average age that you get married.
People also didn't live as long back then either.
I agree.
Okay, we can go next.
During the time of the story, was marriage about love, or was it about fulfilling needs such as children for working and money?
I would say back then, yeah, marriage was more about, I mean, it's about love obviously, but it was more of that than it is now. Like people would have kids so they could keep the generations going, and workers
And workers for their farms, because
Yeah.
they needed people to work for cheap, which was their kids.
Well, then I'll go ahead and ask my question because it's kind of in relation to that. It says, when Kate Chopin wrote this, marriage is not always a relationship of mutual love, but most of the time just for social status and acceptance as well as for, so how has marriage differed from then to now? Like you said, I think it's more about love now. People don't say, I need to marry this person because I need to have this many kids.
People are marrying for like somebody to say, yeah, this is yours and this is like your job. Like a wife was usually a stay-at-home back then,
And
she would clean all the house and do everything like that while the man was out there to provide for the family.
People don't really marry for inheritance either. They don't look at inheritance first. They look at who they're marrying first.
And I think women don't need men as much as they do men. Like now they don't need them because they're
dependent themselves.
Yeah.
Okay, well, why do you believe trends have changed in marriage since 1890?
Well, things like today are a lot more accepted. Like society is a lot different. Like people accept a whole lot more now than they would have back then. It's a lot less strict.
And I think not accepting a lot now is really frowned upon. Like back then,
Aside from age.
Aside from age, I think people like interracial and people marrying for love is like you need to accept that. Back then, it would have never even been heard of.
And a lot of the time, back then, you didn't really choose who you married. Most of the time, it was parents that
It was
chose.
a family chosen thing.
Okay, well, speaking about interracial, do you think it's a good idea that people are having same-sex marriage?
I think that in my opinion, it's good that it's being accepted, but personally, I think that, I guess it's a matter of acceptance. Like, I don't think that someone should be looked down upon because they want it, but, I don't know.
I know that it's a law in some states that you can't get married to same-sex people, but that's all like a personal belief about same-sex marriage. Is all personal beliefs and opinion on that. But, I mean, yeah, it's a good thing that people aren't like getting killed over a same-sex marriage or something.
And that goes back to love instead of necessities too.
Yep.
Instead of like making money.
Alright, I'll ask my last question. Throughout the story, Louise is only referred to as Miss Mallard, or she. It is only after hearing of the death of her husband that she is called by her name. Why do you think Chopin does this, and how is this in relation to marriage?
I think that the woman isn't as important as the man.
Because the men
Back
go
then.
out, they make the money, and the woman just stays there.
It was mainly the man doing everything for the family. The woman was just more of an object.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think she was seen as the man in this case is her master.
Yeah.
Like she was
Yeah.
property of him. So I know that it's like it's common, or it's accepted that women take on the last name of the man, but now it's a sense of like respect and like I love him, so I want to take his name. But back then it was like she is mine, she's my property.
That ties into my question. My last question was, do you think that women back then felt as if they weren't as important in life life as men, considering that the men were the ones who worked outside of the home and brought food to the table most of the time.
Yeah, I feel like women feel like they weren't equal to men, and that's why in the story when she heard that he had gotten in a train wreck that and he had passed away, that she was happy, you know, hey, I can go out, I can do my own things, free.
Yeah, she had a sense of release.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she wasn't an object anymore to that man. Which, I mean, that brings me to my last question. In the past, were married men more mean or unkind to women opposed than they are now, like nowadays?
I think society told women that they
Yeah.
weren't as equals and they should something to be ashamed of. But I don't think they were mean. I think that's just what society told them that they had to be. They had to be
Yeah.
dominant,
Like,
rule over.
back in the story, in Kate Chopin's story, it's the 1800s, so I mean, she's just an object to that man. She's just there for him to help carry on his own name.
And now it's more women are going to work than men. I mean, they're still housewives,
Yeah.
but they're dwindling down in numbers because everyone now needs to work.
And it's a choice too. Women have that choice. It says in the story that when she heard that he had died, she was super happy and she had that sense of freedom. But at the end, when she found out that he wasn't dead, like she died
Yeah.
herself.
She had a heart attack.
Yeah, because all that freedom
Of
was
the
just
shock
ripped.
of him
Yeah,
still being
it was ripped away
Yeah.
from her.
That could suggest that he really was, like, maybe mean to her.
I can't imagine having that freedom, like that. Okay, I get to be on my own. I don't belong to anybody
And then it
anymore.
just
and
getting
then
taken away
in
from
a
you.
second, I'd probably have a heart attack.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine being a woman back in the day when you were just an object to the man.
Yeah, no. I'm glad that we have that sense of
Yeah.
independence now,
Yeah.
not having to answer to anyone.
Okay, today we discussed the nature of marriage and how it has changed, and I'm Megan Chandler.
I'm Peyton Myers.
And I'm Ryan Johnson.
And I'm Taylor Pyle. Thank you for listening.